Welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. Thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little dress for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old. It's absolutely beautiful and so easy to make, so I hope you like it. Now, the little dress that we're going to make in the tutorial, like I said, is for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger from a newborn baby and up to 12 months. Now, if you would like to complete the set, I already have a baby blanket, a diaper cover, little booties, and a little coat using this same stitch pattern. I'll go ahead and leave the links to these tutorials in the information box as well. Now, as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box as well. Thank you for your support. Okay, let's get started, but don't forget, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell to all notifications so that you don't miss any of my tutorials. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Okay, to crochet this baby dress, I'll be using this 3.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this number 3 yarn. You can also use DK weight or a ply. Down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave the name of the yarn that I'm using and how much yarn I'm going to need for the size that I'm making. Now, to begin, I have 53 chains. This chain here, without stretching or anything, is measuring about 11 inches, which is about 28 centimeters. Now, if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay, just continue. So here, to begin with the first row, into the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, into this second chain here, insert your hook and make a single crochet. Into the next chain, make a single crochet into the next, and so on. For this first row, this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to make 1 single crochet on each chain. At the end of this first row, I'm going to have 52 single crochets. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this first row. I have a total of 52 single crochets. Now, for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now, these 2 chains from here on do not count. They're just here so that when we finish the yoke, this part here is nice and straight. Now, to begin the second row, I'm going to make 3 double crochets, and then into the 4th single crochet, I'm going to make 2 double crochets. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first single crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3. Into the next, make 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. This is all you're going to do for the rest of this second row. You're going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and into the next 2 double crochets. Now, continue like this to the end of this second row. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I finished the second row. Here at the end, I finished by making these last 4 double crochets. At the end of this second row, I have 64 double crochets. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. Now in this row, I'm going to make 4 double crochets, then into the next, I'm going to make 2. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now into the next, make 2 double crochets. And this is how you're going to continue for the rest of this third row. You're going to make 4 double crochets and into the next 2. 4, 2, 4, 2 until you finish this third row. Continue, I'll meet you at the end. I finished the third row. At the end of this third row, I have 76 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, chain 2 and turn. Now in this row, I'm going to make 5 double crochets, then 2. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, and into the next 2. And this is how you're going to continue for the rest of this fourth row. You're going to make 5 double crochets, then 2, 5, 2, 5, 2 until you finish this fourth row. At the end of this 4th row, you're going to have 88 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I finished the 4th row. At the end of this 4th row, I have 88 double crochets. Now for the 5th row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now in this 5th row, we're going to repeat the same thing we did in the 2nd row. I'm going to make 3 double crochets, then 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 until I finish the row. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3. Now into the next, make 2 double crochets. One more time, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and into the next 2 double crochets. This is how you're going to continue for the rest of this 5th row. So continue making 3 double crochets, then 2, 3, 2 to the end of this 5th row. I'll meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. Up to here I have 100 double crochets. I still have 8 double crochets left. Now here at the end, we're going to finish this row by making 1 double crochet on each one of these double crochets, so that at the end of this 5th row I have a total of 108 double crochets. Now I want to make sure that this last row here is in multiples of 3. So 108 divides into 3. There. So at the end of this 5th row, I have 108 double crochets. Now for the 6th row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, what I'm going to do are V-stitches. So our first V-stitch is going to go into the 3rd double crochet, counting from the beginning. 1, 2, 3 into this 3rd double crochet, make a V-stitch. So make a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, skip 1, 2 and into the 3rd, make a V-stitch. Skip 1, 2 and into the 3rd, again a V-stitch. This is how we're going to continue for this 6th row. We're just going to make these V-stitches. Continue, finish this 6th row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. I have my last V-stitch. Up to here I have 35 V-stitches. Now to finish into the last double crochet here, make a double crochet. And this is how I finished the 6th row with 35 V-stitches. Now for the 7th row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, what I'm going to do is we have this V-stitch into the first double crochet, make a front post double crochet. Now into the chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. And now make a front post double crochet. Again, into the next V-stitch, make a front post double crochet, 2 double crochets inside the chain 2 space, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. This is all I'm going to do for this 7th row, so continue. I'll meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 7th row. This is where we did these fans with front post double crochets. Now here at the end, I finished by making a double crochet into the 2nd chain. Then I cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this row here is done. I have a total of 35 fans. Now for row 8, we're going to turn this over. From now on, this here is going to be the back side and this is going to be the front. So we're going to go here. This is where we finished the last double crochet. Insert your hook there and we're going to grab a loop. I'm going to use this light blue yarn. I love baby dresses that are light blue and white. I think it's the perfect combination for the summer. So here, you're going to chain 3 and into this chain space here of the first fan, you're going to make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, chain 3 in the middle of the fans right here, make a slip stitch, chain 3 into the chain space of the next fan, a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 3 chains, in the middle of the fans, a slip stitch. And this is all we're going to do for this row. So continue, finish this row, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of the 8th row. This is where we did this row of chains in this blue color. Now here at the end, I did my last 3 chains, and into the second chain here at the end, I did a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, and the yoke is done. Look how beautiful this looks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to divide the sleeves. So here, let me tell you how we're going to divide. In total, we have 35 fans. Each one of the front panels is going to have 4 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I place a stitch marker in between the 4th and the 5th fan. For each one of the sleeves, I have 9 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I place a stitch marker in between the 9th and the 10th fan. For the back side, once it's done, it's going to be the front. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fans, and then I place a stitch marker. And then again for the second sleeve, I have 9, and then for the second front panel, I have 4. So to divide the sleeves, we're going to go right here. As I mentioned when we started this row here, from here on, this is going to be the right side and this is going to be the wrong side. So we're going to make this next row on the wrong side. So we're going to start here on this other side. See, this is where we started. Here's the first chain. Now to work this next row, we're going to go into the 7th row. In the 7th row, we worked these fans. So we're going to go here at the end of this 7th row. We have this double crochet. So insert your hook like this. I'm going to continue with the white yarn, grab a loop here, bring it through like this, and chain 1. Now this chain 1 here counts. It counts as the first stitch. So now inside the V-stitch, we have these 4 double crochets. See it right there. Make a front post single crochet into that first double crochet, front post single crochet into the next, and 2 more front post single crochet. So each fan has 4 double crochets inside the V-stitch. So we're going to make 4 front post single crochets, and in between the fans we're going to chain 1. So here are my first 4 front post single crochets plus the chain that I told you that counts as the first stitch. So I have 6 stitches so far. Now we're going to go into the second fan. We have these 4 double crochets that are inside the V-stitch, and we're going to work 4 front post single crochets. The important thing is that you don't forget to make a chain space between the fans. So chain 1, and now again we have the 3rd fan, make 4 front post single crochets. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you this part here. Chain 1, go into the 4th fan, into the 4 double crochets, make 4 front post single crochets. There. Now I should have 20 front post single crochets here, including this chain here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go into the next fan here, the one that's after the stitch marker, and into the first double crochet only, make a front post single crochet. So now I have 22 stitches. Now to divide the first sleeve, chain 7. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 9 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the fan after the stitch marker, into the first double crochet here that's inside the V-stitch, make a front post single crochet, and same thing into the next 3. There. And now we have divided the sleeves. Now chain 1, go into the next fan and do 4 front post single crochets. That's all I'm going to do here until I come to the next stitch marker. So don't forget to chain 1 in between the fans and then work 4 front post single crochets. Continue. I will meet you here to show you how we're going to divide the second sleeve. Okay, I finished making these front post single crochets with chains in between. I have 44. From here up to here, there's 44 stitches. Now, to divide the second sleeve, we're going to chain 7. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And into the 9th fan here, into the last double crochet of these 4, make a front post single crochet, chain 1, and into the next fan, which is the first one for the 4 here for the front panel, make 4 front post single crochets into these double crochets here. And the rest from here on is the same. Just chain 1 and then do the same thing for each one of these remaining fans. I will meet you at the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we divided the sleeves. Now here at the end, into these 3 chains here at the end, I did my last front post single crochet. For this front panel, I also have 22 stitches. Remember that we had 22 here for this front panel, then we did 7 chains, we made 44 single crochets for the front, then we did 7 chains, and then finished here with these 22 stitches. So in total, including the chains, I have a total of 102 stitches. I want to make sure that this row here is in multiples of 3. If for any reason you're making the dress bigger using, I don't know, a different yarn or different hook, that's the multiples of 3 for this row. So now to finish here, we're going to go into the first chain that I did. Remember, I told you it counts as the stitch, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to this chain. And this is how I finished the first row. Now for the second row, I'm going to chain 1, and into this same stitch here, I'm going to make a single crochet. In this row, all I'm going to do is single crochets all around. So like this. Make sure that you do a single crochet into the chains that are in between the fans, and then into each one of the single crochets, or the front post single crochets. So this row here is very easy. We're going to be left with the same number of single crochets, which is 102 at the end of this second row. Continue. Once you get here under the sleeve, we have these 7 chains. You're just going to make 7 single crochets, so 1 single crochet for each chain. Then continue here for the front and make these 44 single crochets, 7 here under the second sleeve, and then finish with these 22. I'll meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 102 single crochets. To finish, we're going to go into the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the second row with 102 single crochets. Now for the third row, this is where we're going to start our pattern. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now into this first single crochet, which is the same one where we joined, go back and insert your hook there and make a single crochet. Now chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and into the third here, make a shell. Each one of these shells is going to consist of 4 double crochets. That's 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and into the third, make a single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and into the third, make a shell. Chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and into the next, a single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and into the next, a shell. This is how we're going to continue for the rest of this third row. So continue. Let's finish this row. I'll meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. This is where I did shells separated by single crochets. Now up to here, this is my last shell. I have 17 shells. To finish the row, chain 1, go on top of the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the third row. Now for the fourth row, I'm going to turn here. Don't chain or anything, just turn. Into this chain space here, make a slip stitch and make a front post slip stitch into the first double crochet of this first shell. Now chain 3. These 3 chains here counts as 1 double crochet. Into the second double crochet of this same shell, make a front post double crochet, 2 chains, 2 front post double crochets. Now into the next shell, make 2 front post double crochets, 2 chains, 2 front post double crochets. This is how you're going to work each one of the shells. You're going to make 2 front post double crochets, 2 chains, 2 front post double crochets. Continue. I'll meet you at the end of this 4th row. I'm here at the end of the 4th row. This is where we did front post double crochets. To finish, just go into the 3rd chain here at the beginning and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the 4th row. Now for the 5th row, we're going to turn and immediately into this space here, make a single crochet. Chain 1. Now into each one of the chain 2 spaces here, we're going to make shells. These shells are going to consist now of 6 double crochets. We're going to increase the size of these shells so that the skirt here of the little dress has a bit more volume. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 1. In the middle of the shells, make a single crochet, chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space, make 6 double crochets. Chain 1, in the middle of the shells, single crochet. This is all we're going to do here for the 5th row. Continue, I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. This is where we did the row of shells of 6 double crochets. Now to finish here, we're going to chain 1, go into the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the 5th row with a total of 17 shells all around. Now for row 6, we're going to turn. And here we're going to go into this chain space and make a slip stitch. Now go into the first double crochet of the first shell and make a front post slip stitch. Now chain 3, then make 2 front post double crochets. Chain 2, 3 front post double crochets. Let me show you again. We have the second shell, make 3 front post double crochets, 2 chains, 3 front post double crochets. And this is all we're going to do for the rest of this 6th row. Continue, I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. This is where we did front post double crochets. To finish, we're going to go here into the 3rd chain and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the 6th row. Now from here on, these are the 2 rows that you're going to repeat. The 5th row and this 6th row that we just finished. So for the 7th row, I'm going to repeat the row of fans, which was row 5. So to do this, we're going to turn here and immediately into this space here, make a single crochet. Now chain 1 and into the chain 2 space of the first shell, make 6 double crochets. Now chain 1 in the middle of the shells right here, a single crochet, chain 1, and into the next shell, into the chain 2 space, make again 6 double crochets. And this is all we're going to do for this 7th row, which is exactly the same thing we did in the 5th row. 2, 4, 6, chain 1 in the middle, single crochet, chain 1, and then 6 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. And that's all you're going to do for the rest of this 6th row. Now to finish the row, you're just going to go here where we have the single crochet, join with a slip stitch, and then to start the 8th row, you're going to do the same thing we did here in the 6th row, the row of front post double crochets. So you're just going to turn and immediately into that chain that you're going to have at the end, make a slip stitch, and then a front post slip stitch into the first double crochet, and then exactly the same thing we did here for the row of front post double crochets. That's all we're going to do. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm almost done with the skirt of the little dress. Look how beautiful this looks. Now, if you want to leave it like this, the little dress is done. What I'm going to do here at the bottom is the same thing I did here around the yoke. So far, I have a total of 20 rows. Counting from the beginning, this is the first row that we did of shells. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Each one of these little waves counts as 2 rows. So here at the end of the 20th row, all I did was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. And that's how I finished the 20th row, and the last row was the row of front post double crochets. Now to continue here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to this blue yarn here, and I'm going to go right here, right in the middle. This is where I finished. This is the 3 chains where I joined, and this is the last double crochet of this last shell. So right in the middle here, insert your hook, grab a loop. Now if you're not going to change color, then just chain 4. So here, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, go into the middle of this first shell into the chain 2 space. Just insert your hook there and make a slip stitch, chain 3, and a slip stitch again. This row we're going to work from the wrong side out. I like the way that it looks like this, so it's up to you if you want to do it on the other side. Now chain 4, in the middle of the shells, make a slip stitch, chain 4 again, into the chain 2 space of the next shell, make a slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch again, chain 3, chain 4, in the middle of the shells, slip stitch, chain 4, slip stitch into the chain 2 space, chain 3, slip stitch again into the same space here, and chain 4, slip stitch between the shells. This is all I'm going to do, and this is how it looks. Here's the right side. Continue like this all around. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this row with this blue color. This is row 21. Now to finish here into this same space here where we started, just go in again and make a slip stitch. Now, I'm going to make one more row if you want to leave it like this. It's very pretty, but I'm going to do one more row. So here I'm going to chain 2. Now into this first chain 4 space here, make a single crochet, chain 2. Into the chain 3, which is the center stitch here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet here. Now chain 2. Into the chain 4 space, make a single crochet, chain 2. Into the next chain 4 space, make a single crochet, chain 2. Again into the middle stitch here, the chain 3, make a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and then again we're going to chain 2, single crochet into the chain 4 space, chain 2, single crochet into the chain 4 space, chain 2, and again single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the middle stitch. And this is all we're going to do all around, and this is how it looks. This row again we're going to work from the wrong side out. Continue all around, and I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I finished making this last row. Here at the end I did my last 2 chains, then I just joined to the beginning of that second row with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is all done, and this is how it looks. It's absolutely beautiful. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to do a row here around the neckline. So this is the back side. We're going to go here to the left side, and we're going to go right here where we have this first chain. I have this tail end here from when I did my chain. So insert your hook there into that chain, grab a loop here. I'm going to use this blue yarn with the same hook size, and now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that these chains are nice and tight so that this part here looks nice. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to skip one chain, and into the next I'm going to go in and make a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip one chain, and into the next make a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip one, and into the next make a slip stitch. This is how I'm going to continue all around. I'll meet you here at this other end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at this other end of the collar. I have my last 3 chains here at the end. Into the last chain stitch there, make a slip stitch. Now this part here is done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue along the back side here, and I'm going to make single crochets along this side, and along this side we're going to make our buttonholes. So to do this here, I'm going to chain 1, and into this same stitch here make a single crochet. Then into the next row, single crochets, make a single crochet. Now there is no right or wrong way of doing this. The important thing is that when you do the other side, you have the same number of stitches. So here we have the next row, which is a double crochet row. Make a single crochet there. So far I have 3. In the middle here, between the double crochet and the 2 chains here at the end, make a single crochet. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's see. Yes, I have 13 single crochets here. Now right in the middle, let's make 1. Oops. So right there. And now we're going to continue along this side and do the same thing. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I'm going to add my first buttonhole here, or let's do 6 right here. Yes, that's 6. Now chain 2 into the next space, which is a chain 2, make a single crochet. This chain 2 space here that I just did is my buttonhole. Continue watching. I'll let you know what size buttons I'm going to use. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now chain 2 and into the same stitch here where we started for the neckline, go in there and make a slip stitch, or you can do a single crochet. I think I'll do a slip stitch. And here's the second buttonhole. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see, I'm going to cut my yarn here. Just pass your yarn through this last loop, and we're going to hide that end. Let's see. Yes, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to add a button here on this side and on the top. I finished making the back side and I went ahead and added my buttons. Now these buttons are 11mm size. You can also use 9 or 10mm size buttons as well. I purchased these buttons from Hobby Lobby. So the little dress, it's all done. This is the back side and here is the front. Here in the front, all I did was just add this little bow here. You can do the same. So now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the shoulder down to the end of this last row, it's measuring about 33 centimeters, which is about 13 inches. Now the chest area, just the top, it's measuring about 22 centimeters, which is about 8.75 inches. And right across this part here, it's measuring about 10 centimeters, which is about 4 inches. So based on these measurements, this little dress is for baby girls between 3 and 6 6 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger. I'd say from a newborn baby and up to 12 months. Down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Also in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave the link to my Etsy shop if you prefer a written pattern, and I will also leave links to some tutorials that I already have in my channel using the same stitch pattern. I have a little diaper cover, a baby bonnet, a baby sweater, and a baby dress with the same stitch pattern, and I have a baby blanket so that you can complete the set. So I'll leave those links in the information box. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.